Hello, dear friend. Welcome back to English Talks with Avie. Relax, listen, and improve your English.
Hello, my friend. I am so happy you are here with me today. Today, we are going to visit a very special place. It is a small cafe in the middle of a loud, busy city. In this city, everyone is in a hurry. Everyone is looking at a screen. But in our story today, the screens go dark and the people start to glow. Let's go to the offline cafe. The street was called Willow Lane. It was a street full of tall glass buildings, fast cars, and people in expensive suits. Everyone on Willow Lane had a phone in their hand. They walked with their heads down. They didn't look at the sky. They didn't look at the flowers in the park. They only looked at the glowing blue lights of their screens. Right in the middle of these tall buildings, there was a small wooden door. It was painted a soft forest green. Above the door, a small sign said, "The Offline Café." Leo was the man who owned the cafe. Leo was a man who moved slowly. He had kind eyes and a gray apron. He loved the sound of coffee beans falling into a jar. He loved the smell of fresh cinnamon rolls in the morning. When he opened his cafe at 7 a.m., the air inside was already warm and sweet. On the first day the cafe opened, a young woman named Clara walked in. Clara was a university student. She was always tired, and she was always busy. She had a heavy backpack and a laptop bag. She walked to the counter, but she didn't look at Leo. She was looking at her phone. "Medium latte, please," Clara said. Her fingers moved fast across her phone screen. "Certainly," Leo replied. His voice was deep and calm. "That will be $4. Clara paid with her watch. Then she looked around the room. "What is the Wi-Fi password?" she asked. Leo smiled a small, gentle smile. He pointed to a small chalkboard on the wall. In beautiful white letters, it said, "No Wi-Fi. Talk to each other or look at the rain." Clara stopped. She blinked. "No Wi-Fi?" she asked. Her voice was high and surprised. "But I have a paper to write. I need to check my sources. How can a cafe have no Wi-Fi nowadays?" Leo started to steam the milk. The sound was like a soft hiss. "There is a library 2 blocks away if you need the internet. Here, we only have coffee and conversation." Clara looked frustrated. She looked at her phone. There were no bars, no signal. The cafe was like a stone box that blocked the digital world. She wanted to leave, but the smell of the latte was too good. It smelled like rich chocolate and cream. She sighed and sat down at a small round table near the window. She opened her laptop, but she couldn't do much without the internet. She sat there for 10 minutes. She felt nervous. Her leg was bouncing up and down. She kept reaching for her phone to check Instagram, but there was nothing to see. She felt like she was missing something important. She felt out of the loop. Across from Clara was an older man. His name was Mr. Henderson. He wore a neat brown coat and a hat. He had a very old tablet computer in front of him. He looked confused. He was touching the screen, but nothing was happening. He looked up and saw Clara. "Excuse me, young lady," Mr. Henderson said. Clara looked up. "Yes?" "I am very sorry to bother you," he said. He looked a little embarrassed. "My daughter moved to London last week. She sent me an email with a photo of my new grandson, but I can't get the email to open. The little circle just keeps spinning and spinning." Clara looked at his screen. She realized he didn't know about the no Wi-Fi rule. "Oh," Clara said. Her voice was softer now. "The owner said there is no internet here, Mr. Henderson. That is why it isn't loading." Mr. Henderson's face fell. He looked very sad. "Oh, I see. I am not very good with these things. I just wanted to see his face. They say he has my nose." Clara looked at her own laptop. She looked at the man's sad eyes. She felt a small pull in her heart. "You know," Clara said, "I have a hotspot on my phone, but it doesn't work here either. But wait, I have an idea. If you step outside the door with me for 1 minute, we can catch the signal from the building next door. I can help you download the photo so you can see it when you come back inside." Mr. Henderson's eyes brightened. "Would you really do that?" "Of course," Clara said. They both stood up and walked to the green door. They stood on the sidewalk for a moment. The cold wind blew Clara's hair, but she didn't mind. She took the tablet and tapped a few buttons. Click! The photo appeared. It was a tiny baby with a very large nose and a blue hat. "There he is," Mr. Henderson said. He was smiling so wide that his eyes almost disappeared. "Oh, look at him. He is beautiful." "He really does have your nose," Clara laughed. They walked back into the warm cafe. But instead of sitting at separate tables, Mr. Henderson sat near Clara. They started to talk. He told her about his daughter's job in London. Clara told him about her history paper. For 30 minutes, Clara forgot about her phone. She didn't feel nervous anymore. She felt present. Leo watched them from behind the counter. He polished a glass and smiled to himself. The green door opened again. A couple walked in. Their names were Ben and Mia. They were in their late 20s. They were a tech couple. They both worked for big computer companies. Usually, when they went to lunch, they sat across from each other and scrolled through their news feeds. They didn't speak much. They were together, but they were also miles apart. Ben looked for the Wi-Fi sign immediately. When he saw the chalkboard, he groaned. "No Wi-Fi? Mia, let's go somewhere else. I need to see the market updates." Mia was looking at a menu. "Ben, look at this. They have grandmother's apple cake. And look at the flowers on the tables. They are real." "But the market will be there in 20 minutes, Mia said. She sounded a bit tired. "Let's just stay. My phone battery is at 5% anyway. Let's just be here." They sat down. For the first 2 minutes, it was awkward. Ben kept touching his pocket where his phone was. Mia looked at her fingernails. They had forgotten how to just sit and wait. Then Ben noticed a wooden box on the table. He opened it. Inside, there was a crossword puzzle from a newspaper and a pencil. "A crossword?" whispered Ben. "I haven't done one of these since I was 10 years old." "What is 5 across?" Mia asked, leaning in. "A 4-letter word for a silent place." Ben thought for a moment. "Calm?" "No, that's 4 letters. Wait, no, that's 5. "Hush?" Ben suggested. "No, look, it starts with C. C-A-F-E. Café." Mia laughed. They started to work on the puzzle together. They put their phones in the center of the table, face down. They argued about names of old movie stars. They laughed when they got a difficult word right. For the first time in months, they were looking into each other's eyes. They were having a heart-to-heart conversation without even trying. As the weeks went by, the offline cafe became famous in the neighborhood. But it wasn't famous for its technology. It was famous for its vibe. People started to call it the secret garden. One rainy afternoon, the cafe was full. The windows were foggy from the heat of the coffee machines. The air was thick with the sound of voices and the clinking of spoons. There was no music playing, but the room was not quiet. It was full of the music of human life. At one table, 2 strangers were playing chess. One was a teenager in a hoodie, and the other was a woman in a business suit. They didn't know each other's names, but they were thinking together. At another table, a mother was showing her young son how to draw a bird on a paper napkin. The boy's hands were covered in chocolate, and he was giggling. Clara was there too. She was sitting with Mr. Henderson again. She had finished her paper at the library, but she came to the cafe to show Mr. Henderson a book she thought he would like. "You know, Leo," Clara said as she walked up to the counter to get a refill. "I used to hate this place." Leo laughed quietly. "I remember. You looked like you wanted to throw your latte at me." Clara blushed. "I was just so used to being busy. I thought that if I wasn't connected to the world, I didn't exist. But here, I feel more real. I feel like I am part of a neighborhood, not just a network." Leo nodded. "A network is made of wires, Clara. A neighborhood is made of stories." Suddenly, the lights in the cafe flickered and went out. The whole street went dark. There was a power outage in the city. Outside, the streetlights were off. The tall glass buildings were black. The people on the street were stopping, looking confused, holding their phones up like little torches. Inside the cafe, it was dark too. For a moment, there was a heavy silence. Then Leo walked to the back. He came out with a box of long white candles. He lit them one by one. The tiny flames danced in the darkness. The cafe turned a beautiful, warm orange color. "Don't worry, everyone," Leo said. "The coffee is still hot and the candles are bright. We don't need electricity to finish our conversations." Nobody got up to leave. In fact, people from the street started to come inside. They were drawn to the candlelight. They were drawn to the sound of laughter in the dark. Because there was no Wi-Fi, nobody was trying to record the moment on their phone. Nobody was taking a selfie with the candles. They were just living the moment. They were breathing the same air. They were sharing the same light. Ben and Mia were at their usual table. In the candlelight, they looked very peaceful. Ben reached across the table and took Mia's hand. "I like it better this way," Ben whispered. "Me too," Mia replied. That night, the power stayed off for 4 hours. For most of the city, it was a disaster. People were angry, they were bored, they were lost. But in the offline cafe, it was the best night of the year. People shared their tables, they shared their cake, they told stories about their childhoods. They realized that the no Wi-Fi rule wasn't a punishment, it was a gift. It was a space where they could be themselves. The next morning, the power came back on. The world went back to being fast and loud. The people on Willow Lane put their heads back down and looked at their screens. But when they passed the forest green door of the offline cafe, many of them paused. They looked at the sign. They looked at the window. And many of them put their phones in their pockets before they walked inside. Leo still doesn't have a password. He still doesn't have a router. But his cafe is the most connected place in the city. Because he knows a secret that the big buildings have forgotten. He knows that humans are like those little candles. We shine brightest when we are close together. We don't need a signal to reach out. We just need to look up. And every time someone walks into his cafe and asks, "What is the password?" Leo just points to the chalkboard and says, "There is no password. Just say hello." The offline cafe reminds us that technology is a wonderful tool, but it should not be a wall between us. Sometimes the best thing we can do for our happiness is to unplug for a little while. I want to ask you a gentle question today. Have you ever spent a day without your phone? How did it feel? Did you notice anything new about the world around you? We would love to read your thoughts in the comments. Tell us about a place where you feel connected to people. And if you enjoyed our visit to Leo's Cafe, please give this video a like and share it with someone you care about. We are so proud of your journey. Stay present, stay kind, and I will see you in the next story.
Thank you for listening. Subscribe for more English Talks with Avie. You can explore more videos here. Thanks.